Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and still fighting the good fight for Super Earth. In today's guide I'm going to show you what loadout I'm currently using when facing the Terminids on Helldivers difficulty to help you deal that much needed democracy, so sit back, relax and let's get into it. Before I start, a quick disclaimer: in this loadout there will be weapons that are in the premium war bonds, so might not be available to everyone, but don't worry, I will give an alternative loadout that can be used on Helldivers difficulty that will be just as useful, that doesn't require any super credits to be spent. And also, there is no one build fits all, and the best build you can have is the one that synergizes best with your team, so you're all one complete unit. So starting off with our primary weapon, the very popular Incendiary Breaker is by no surprise my current go-to weapon when facing the Terminids on Helldivers difficulty. Its crowd clearing capabilities makes it a great weapon to use on higher difficulties due to the increased enemy presence, and works very well at mopping up all the light enemies and can be used to great effect on choke points. It's also decent against the most medium armoured enemies like the Hive Guards, which when shooting them head on still sets them alight, slowly chipping away at their health. And as far as the Brood Commanders, I find shooting them at a distance to start the fire damage and finish them off with a secondary weapon to be a great combo. And whilst talking about the larger enemies, it also takes a few shots to set Chargers and Bile Titans on fire, helping chip down their health from a safe distance before using your stratagems to take them out. The Incendiary Breaker can be found in the Steeled Veterans Premium War Bond, which will cost you 1000 super credits to unlock, and will cost you 60 war medals to unlock the breaker inside the Premium War Bond. My secondary weapon of choice is the GP31 Grenade Pistol, which you will find in the Democratic Detonations War Bond and will cost you 60 war medals. The Grenade Pistol is a very versatile secondary and gives you so much more customization when tweaking your loadouts, as it covers situations that would normally give to your primary weapon or your stratagem. You don't have to worry about having enough grenades when taking out the bug holes, as the grenade pistol can take them out for you, and it's also great for taking out the tankier medium enemies such as the Brood Commanders I mentioned earlier. And sometimes if there's a cluster of Hive Guards, I'll shoot the ground they're on to take out multiple medium enemies with a single shot. For our grenade, I'm currently rocking the Incendiary Impact Grenade for its high explosive damage and its area of effect fire damage. It can also close bug holes and is again great for choke points, setting everything on fire that walks through its area of effect. Before we get onto what stratagems are used in this loadout, I'll first cover what armour I use, and for Helldiver difficulty I use the CM35 Trench Armour Medium Armour, which can be found on the third page of the free war bond, and the armour will cost you 10 war medals. You don't need the whole set, as helmets and capes currently have the same stats and no passives, so you should only put helmets and capes on that you like the look of aesthetically. So I use the Trench Engineer Armour for its medium armour protection and its great armour passive Engineering Kit, which gives you a 30% recoil reduction when crouched or prone, and more importantly an extra 2 grenades to your carrying capacity, which is great for filling those crowds and taking out more bug holes, especially if you're not using the grenade pistol or you haven't unlocked that war bond. So your main way of clearing bug nests will be your impact grenades, so the more you can carry on you the better. And when picking a booster, make sure you or your teammates are taking the stamina enhancement booster to compensate for using medium armour as opposed to light armour, so this way you get better armour protection with only a small decrease to your speed stats. Before we move on to the important stratagems, I just wanted to say a huge thank you, as we've just surpassed the channel's 1000 subscriber milestone, and if you haven't already, please like this video as it really helps me out, and if you would like this type of content and would like to see more, please consider subscribing and join the blaggers. Moving on to our stratagems, I find on Helldivers difficulty we have to prioritise taking out heavy targets such as Chargers and Bile Titans. We've already established that our Incendiary Breaker can take out all of the light armoured bugs and some of the medium armoured bugs, and our Grenade Pistol can clear up Brood Commanders and small groups of Hive Guards, so that leaves us with our stratagems to clear out those heavies. So with that said, the 500 kg bomb is my first stratagem I use. Its quick cooling time and being so easy to use makes it an easy choice for me when taking out Bile Titans. Sure, it could do with a larger damage radius being the 500 kg bomb, but its relatively small learning curve makes it the obvious pick. You should only be using your 500 kg on the Bile Titans, as you'll see in a minute what we'll be using to take out Chargers, and always having a 500 kg at the hand is what you want to aim for. Our second stratagem is again used for taking out the larger targets, and that of course is the Orbital Rail Cannon Strike. This stratagem is the easiest way to take down heavy targets with an almost 99% strike rate. You just throw it close to your target and the automatic lock-on will do the rest. Again, this should be used primarily on Bile Titans, but if you have a 500 kg ready as well, you can always use this on a Charger if you're desperate, but if you can get into the habit of saving both these stratagems for Bile Titans, you'll coast through Helldivers difficulty easily. Next up is our support stratagem, and that's the Expendable Anti-Tank Launcher, also known as the EAT-17. This is the one slot in this loadout that can be approached with your preferences, as the quasar cannon or the recoilless rifle can be used if you prefer it, but I personally find the EAT-17 to be the best for its handling and overall versatility. I can call in 2 launchers roughly every 60 seconds throughout an entire mission that I can spread across the map for me and my fellow Helldivers to use later. A tip when using the EAT-17s is once the holder has deployed, be sure to pick up and drop your launchers so you can see them on your minimap, as leaving it on the holder it will not show up on your minimap. My last stratagem is the guard dog rover, which I find is very useful for clearing up the multiple enemies pressing you on the higher difficulties, and is also great for conserving your own ammo, which is really needed when playing on Helldivers difficulty. This pick isn't as secure as my other 3, and if you have a favourite stratagem you use, then this would be the best slot to use it with in this loadout. If you were looking for a loadout that didn't require spending any super credits, then I would recommend something along these lines. For my primary weapon, I would use the standard breaker shotgun. My secondary would be the senator to take out those medium armoured enemies like the brood commanders, and my grenade would be the standard impact grenade, but just remember, since you haven't got the grenade pistol, you'll need to save your impact grenades for the bug holes. The armour would remain the same, the CM35 trench armour, and those 2 extra grenade slots will be extra handy for your bog hole problem, and I would also still use the stamina enhancement booster. Your stratagems will be the same, and if you would like to see me do a more in-depth no super credit spend build, then please let me know. Also, whilst talking about builds, if you're looking for a specific weapon build, then I would highly recommend checking out the build guides on the channel, and to be more specific, I would definitely check out the Scorcher build and the anti-material rifle build to give you some ideas and options when jumping into your next mission. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and just a quick note, I heard your feedback in previous videos, and I will now be filming all my loadout guides on Helldivers difficulty, so you know that they have been extensively tested to give you the best information and loadouts around, so you can go forth and deal that much needed democracy. If you would like to see what loadout I use when facing the automatons, please leave a like and a comment, and be sure to subscribe. And be sure to comment what your current loadout is when playing on Helldivers difficulty to inspire your fellow Helldivers, or to see what you can improve within your own builds. And a quick channel update, as mentioned earlier, we have now hit 1,000 subscribers, and I would like to get a more consistent schedule going and potentially add some more games to the channel, and potentially some more video game essays as well, if there's a demand for them. So please comment if you would like to see any content in particular, and if it's in line with my own interests, I'll get to work on it. Thanks for watching, my fellow blaggers, and as always, I'll see you on the battlefield. Blagger out.